Michelle here, and I've got Adam back on the show today. We are going to be talking more about books he's got coming out and all his new stuff he's got going on. And he's also got a great clip for us to see. So Adam, go ahead and tell our viewers about what's coming.
Sure. So what's coming up is what's behind me, The Ghosts of Tantor. It is a spin-off series in the Cassidy Chronicles. So it's set in the same universe. It has some of the same characters, just taking some of the secondary characters from the main series and giving them a chance to shine on their own.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's just like the collection that just came out. There are lots of stories.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't all revolve around Kendra and Ayana. So this is a chance for, some of the other stories to be told.
That is fun. So tell me about the characters that you're going to be focusing on in these books.
Sure. So let's see. The ones that people would have met, you have Chloe Ressler, who was the captain of the TFS Nike. No, sorry, the Defiant. And she, in the 5th book, in Triumph's Ashes, she chased another vessel all the way out to Alpha Phoenicius and back. It's about 80 light years. The thing is, so the shows where, in the movies where, you have these big space battles and, they're flying around faster than light and they're shooting each other. Okay, putting aside the physics that faster than light isn't possible yet. It's not impossible, but it's not possible yet. Putting that aside and assuming that we can do it, when you're firing at somebody with a laser or something like a laser, it's a light speed weapon. What happens to a light speed weapon when you're traveling faster than the speed of light? It's like throwing a soda can out the window of your car. It gets left behind.
Yeah.
So even though the starship that she was chasing was an enemy starship, she couldn't stop. They couldn't fight in faster than light travel. So they went all the way out there and almost all the way back.
Dang.
Before anything happened. Yeah, and the challenge was the Defiant is built for like system patrols. So it's designed to just kind of putter around on the solar system. It's not designed to be deployed for 6 weeks. So there's a little bit of a challenge. And so Kendra thought that she would be a good person to put in command of this new ship, which is called the Pike. And the mission of this ship is to go out for 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Go out, explore. It's 4 kilometers long, and there are 4,000 people stuffed aboard it.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people, but I worked it out. I did the math, and 4 kilometers long, anywhere between 1 and 2 kilometers wide, and about 1 kilometer tall. There's something like 200,000 kilometers of corridor, just going back and forth and side to side. So there's a lot of space inside there.
That's good.
Yeah.
So with figuring that out, how did you go about that? Did you have to draw out the ship, or how did you figure all of this out? This is mind blowing to me because that's like, I'm not a math person, and like I have to draw it out to see like, okay, and then guesstimate. But
yeah, I didn't draw it out. I mostly mathed it, given some basic requirements and some basic, but I knew what the ship was going to look like. You can kind of see it on, let's see, I can never get.
Is it, yeah, the Ghost of Tantor, right? I'm not even going to try to point because the last time it was like a direction. So.
Right there is the ship.
Yes.
And so it's huge. I mean, plain and simple, it's absolutely huge.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be. I mean, like I said, it carries 4,000 people. It carries, if you, from the rest of the Cassidy verse, they have little shuttles, which are called wolves. It carries 24 of those. It carries 96 dire wolves, which are the fighters. And it carries 24 coyotes, which are scout ships. They're little warp powered scout ships.
I like the names you chose for those two, like, because I feel like it's more because the dire wolves are normally the stronger kind of wolves. It's fitting. So
Exactly.
I like that.
Yes, that's so you have Chloe, and then you have Captain Lexi Marsh, who was a dire wolf pilot. You have Tori Monaco, who's part of Starfleet Marine Corps, and she was in Triumph's Ashes as well. Let's see, some others. Oh yes, Nicole Crozier, who has been in and out of the books since the second book. She's been kicking around, but as a politician, she finally got free of her political encumberments, and she enlisted because she wants to do science.
Sweet.
So she's on there as well.
Nice.
And then from those few, that little handful of people that readers will know, there are a whole cast of characters coming in that people are going to be happy to learn about.
Sweet. And I'm looking at the covers right now. Okay, so one is a special edition print only. But they're the same book, right?
Well, all right. So you see there's different cover art. And that's because the cover art on the special edition, I couldn't say no to it.
It's pretty. Like I really like it.
Yeah, and it focuses a little bit more on the person. I mean, that's a pretty good visualization of Nicole Crozier. So, and it also has a couple of short stories tucked into the back.
Nice.
So that aren't going to be in the regular edition.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. They're both gorgeous covers though. So that was a curious question that was been floating around since we started chatting. So with writing this one, you said it's kind of a spinoff, and Kendra does make an appearance in that.
She does, because at the beginning of the book, she and Davy Whitmore, who people will recognize as well, they're examining the ship, and saying, giving the reader, explaining what this ship is about. And then Kendra is selecting the officers. So she's actually recruiting the officers to go off on this 3-year mission. And so there are several scenes where she's sitting down and talking to people about what they're going to do. And Chloe has to get a promotion because she's the mission commander. She doesn't actually command the ship, but since it's only one ship, she can't be an admiral. An admiral commands more than one ship. So
fascinating. See, I don't know a lot about like how that stuff works. Obviously, we know my writing's more the like fantasy romance with shifters and stuff. So this is actually really cool. And I have to ask, the ship, where did you get the inspiration for the ship? Like putting it all together, did you have maybe several visualizations of ships from movies or anything that you use to kind of inspire that?
Well, the Pike is definitely inspired by Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
And I explained that in the books because Kendra loves our pop culture. From the time she was a little kid, her parents were like, "Oh yeah, go ahead, you can watch that stuff." I mean, how bad can it be? It's a century old. So she grew up on it, and she absorbed a lot of the ideals that the shows espoused, especially Star Trek, the original series. The whole infinite diversity and infinite combinations, and go and explore. It's a peaceful mission. So she's kind of like, okay, yeah, I get that. I'm vibing with that. I want to do that. So, and now that she has the opportunity, she's making it happen.
Cool. So you're definitely probably more a Star Trek fan than a Star Wars fan, I take it.
Yes, Star Trek is more science fiction and Star Wars is science fantasy.
Yes, I have to agree with that, because I was totally thinking, like, just from the cover image of the ship, the Millennium Falcon, and I was like, I wonder if that's kind of inspiration. But being a Star Trek fan, I can see like where you would go the other direction. So I've never been a huge watcher of Star Trek, so, but also I don't know, my dad was a Star Wars like lover, so that's what I grew up on, is because that's what we watched instead of a Star Trek, and I just never went back to watch all of it. But my husband has watched more Star Trek than Star Wars, so.
Well, there's a lot more Star Trek than Star Wars.
There are, because there were quite a few seasons too.
Well, let's see. The original series had 3. You had the animated series that had 1. You had Next Generation had 7. Deep Space Nine had 7, which is my favorite of the Star Trek series. Voyager had 7. Enterprise had 4.
Wow.
Picard is okayed through 3. I mean, the second season just aired and they're okayed through 3. Discovery is on season 4. Strange New Worlds, which is going to be the Enterprise before Captain Kirk, is coming out this year. And they have a couple animated series. One is Star Trek Prodigy. One is Star Trek Lower Decks. So there's a lot more to draw on.
Yeah.
Plus you have all the movies.
Yeah.
You have the 6 original cast movies. You have the 4 Next Generation movies. And then you have the 3 Kelvin movies, the J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
So
I need to catch up on some of them, because I've only seen a couple of them. So but they're good. Like, the ones I've seen are good. And don't ask me to name them, because I can't remember. I'm so bad with names. So now if it was a book, like, it's different. I actually kind of looked into trying to read like the Star Wars books, and I kind of got intimidated because I didn't realize there were so many different books for the Star Wars series. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna table this idea and maybe come back to it later.
Well, and these days, I'm friends with Kevin Anderson, who wrote a bunch of them. None of those books are canon anymore. When Disney bought Lucasfilms, they decided that none of the books that had come out before, none of them were part of the universe anymore.
Wow.
So they are no longer official Star Wars. You can't read them and say, okay, now I know what happened, because Disney may well come out with something which totally contradicts it. Mandalorian and Obi-Wan and both the Book of Fett or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think I saw that. That's crazy. That just ruins it.
Yes,
so
exactly.
But
all the books that have come up for Star Trek.
Yeah.
And there are even more of those because they've been writing them for 50 years.
Yeah. And they all relate. Like they all
relate. They are all official. They are all canon. They are all approved by Paramount. And they said, yes, this is.
You may be converting me to a Star Trek fan. So you wanted to share a little bit of the clip, right? For this, it's this series coming out, right? Or is it Into the Black?
It is this one.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. You seeing that?
Yes. Nice. I like that. I had to mute it because I didn't, or my in because I didn't want Harrison's coughing. That is really cool. So did you create that yourself, or did you have somebody set it up?
Nope, but I put it together.
Nice. That is very creative, Adam. Very creative. I like
Yeah,
it.
I have fun with Canva.
Yes, Canva. I use Adobe, but they're both pretty similar. So with this book coming out so close to Into the Black, how did you plan that with your marketing? Like, has that been kind of crazy? Like, tell me how that's been.
Well, Into the Black, since it's a collection of shorter stories, I wanted to have something out there, and I wanted to keep having something out there for my readers, because Triumph's Ashes came out in August. And then there were a couple of little Vela projects that went along, but there really wasn't anything until Memories of Ayana, which was Kendra's biography that came out in February. And I was like, okay, 2022, all right, February, second month. All right, what do I have that I can put out in the fourth month? Okay, I'll have a collection out in the fourth month. Okay, Into the Black, there it is. So, and now 2 months later, I've got Ghosts of Tantor coming out, which is the first novel, which is the first real juicy novel in a while. And so I'm working on writing the sequel to that with the intent of having that ready to come out 2 months later. So the intent is to have the next one out in August. I may have gotten a little ambitious there, but we'll find out.
Yeah, that I'm impressed with how you're staggering it and getting so much work out. That's impressive, because I'm not one that can do that. I'm terrible at deadlines, but hanging in there. So, and I have to ask too, what is it like using Vela? Because I don't have experience with that, and I don't think many of the viewers may not know much about it. So tell me how that experience has been.
So for the viewers who don't know what it is, Kindle Vela is a new it's a new program by Amazon, and the idea is to have serialized stories, just like watching your favorite TV show every week. Back when network TV was a thing and you had to wait a week between episodes. But it's written. So a bunch of authors are writing stories, and each episode is fairly short. It has to be at least 600 words. It can't be more than 5,000 words. So, it's a short story. And the idea is the authors will put it out every however often. And when it goes out, then people read it. You get tokens from Amazon. And the tokens are cheap. You can get 1,700 tokens for $15. And each token unlocks 100 words. So if it's a 1,000-word episode, it costs 10 tokens. But here's what Amazon has done to attract the reader. The first 3 episodes of any story that you want to read, and there are stories across any genre you want. I mean, there's science fiction, there's fantasy, there's romance, there's rom-coms, you name it, there is something out there for you to read. But the first 3 episodes of any story you want to read is free. Absolutely free. It's unlocked. You can read it. It's the ultimate try before you buy, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to pay anything to do it. And then on top of that, Amazon will give you 200 tokens to start you off. So that'll get you a good chunk of the way through most stories. Now, some people, there's one author that I interact with who's on episode 473.
Whoa.
And this is in the 4th, just like TV, you have episodes and then you have a series. So you have season 1, season 2, season 3. He's on the 4th or 5th season of his Kindle Vela, which is amazing because it's only been going since last July.
Yeah, that's a lot of writing. It's almost
That is
like
a,
novel kind of chapter by chapter is what it seems like they did, which is really cool.
it
So,
is, it is. And the nice thing for a reader is that a lot of the authors, after we finish the Kindle Vella,
mhm.
30 days after we finish it, it can go out into, in as a Kindle.
Oh.
It can go out, the whole thing.
Mhm.
Because I know some people don't want to read, a little bit at a time. They want to jump in, they want to read the whole thing if they like it. And I
Yeah.
totally get that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, totally get that. I'm a lot like that. You know, so recruiting Kendra in
Mhm.
Into Black. That's actually a Kindle Vella project.
That's really
So
cool.
yeah,
And I'm extremely glad that you put it into book because I'm with you about the reading a little bit at the time. I like to just keep going. So,
right. And Memories of Ayana is another one that was a Kindle Vella project.
yeah.
And then once I finished, turned it into a book. There are lots of others. That's where I've been really active lately in that community, the Vella authors community, because
Mhm.
we all support each other because we all want to see it succeed. We
Yeah.
want Amazon to keep this going, and we want them, to keep advertising. We want them to expand it because
Mhm.
right now it's only available in the US.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yep, it's only available in the US because officially it's still in beta testing.
Mhm.
So we want it to be a big success so that it goes international because it's so easy for somebody, it doesn't cost a lot of money. You think of it, for 15 bucks, 1,700 tokens, that is 170,000 words.
Huh.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that is for a rom-com, you can get 3 novels out of that.
Yeah. That's true.
And you don't have to write something that long. I mean, a Vella project can be 20,000 words. I'm actually reading one for another author. She just wrote episode 6. Episode 7 is the end of it.
Wow.
So, I mean, you can write as long or as small as you want. It gives an author a great chance because they have a new feature on it. You can put a poll at the bottom so your readers can give you feedback.
Mhm.
What do you think is going to happen next, kind of thing. And you can put it out there, and it's a fantastic opportunity for authors and a fantastic opportunity for readers to try something new.
Yeah.
You don't know if you like science fiction. Okay, find something with a pretty cover. The descript. Look, we all look with our eyes, right? We
Yeah.
all choose something based on whether we're attracted to seeing it. So you see the cover, you open it up, you say, oh, okay. You read the blurb, you're still like, okay, this sounds all right. So then you read a couple episodes. If you like it, you keep going. If you don't
Yeah.
like it, you haven't lost anything.
That's good. I
Yes.
like it. So when making the covers for Kindle Vella, is it pretty easy to do that? Or how do you go about doing the cover for your stories there?
So the covers for Kindle Vella, I did I've done myself.
Mhm.
Because even though they are associated with, they're all part of the Cassidyverse, they're not mainline novels.
Mhm.
So much as I love my designer, and I mean, you can see what she does.
Yeah, she does
Much as
amazing work.
I love my designer, I'm not going to pay her rates for, what could end up being a novella.
Yeah, that
So
makes sense. Huh, nice. And you said these books are going to be out June 30th, right?
June 20th.
June 20th. Ah, see,
Yep.
making sure
June
those
20th.
dates.
Although the special edition is going to be available earlier. because it's not tied to an ebook.
Sweet. I'm gonna grab that book for sure because like I've been reading more paperbacks lately than ebooks. I don't know. I go back and forth, and it's weird. So
Well, and it won't just be paperback.
oh, you're doing hardback? Awesome. That is
yeah.
so awesome.
Yep.
I haven't played around with the hardback stuff yet. Did you find it pretty easy and like to do, or?
It is just as easy to do as the paperback. And you can even use, depending on what trim size you want to do, you can even use the same wrap for the hardback as you do for the paperback.
Sweet. That's good.
Now I do a different trim size because 6x9 is kind of the standard trim size these days for paperbacks.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure when that happened, but okay, whatever. You know, I'm still used to paperbacks being this big and that wide.
Yeah. Do you do the 8 by, what is it? I can't remember the dimensions. I went with the smaller for my paperbacks because it automatically plugs you into the 6x9, and I didn't like the size. It was not comfortable to hold in my hands, so to speak.
Right. And, you know, I've adjusted to it because, like I said, it's kind of become the standard, and everybody seems to be putting it out in something like that or close to it.
Yeah.
But for the hardbacks, I've gone for 7x10.
Nice.
So it's a little bit larger because when it goes up on the bookshelf, you know, I want it to stick out just a little bit. I want people to say, oh yeah, okay.
That's good. That's a good strategy. So nice. Awesome. Well, do you have any other books coming up after that you've got in the works after you release this one? I think we may have touched on it, but I don't think you set a title. So
no, the title for the next one, this is Ghosts of Tantor. The next one is Tracking Tantor.
Okay.
And
that's the August one. You're shooting for August, right?
I'm shooting for August. I've got about 30,000 words written. These are a little bit shorter than the other series. These are about 80,000 words. So, and I have 30,000 written. The only problem is I do have a Kindle Vella project going on right now.
Yeah.
Which I'm writing under a pseudonym because it's actually a fantasy romance.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, so I figured I'm trying my hand at something different, but it's not under my name.
That's good. I mean, you could always change things around and list it as, here's my pen name for this series, like on your work. So
we'll see how it goes. So far, I'm having fun writing it, but it's hard to jump tracks.
Yes, I have to agree with you on that.
You know, from what's really pretty hard science fiction to, you know, a fantasy romance with serious paranormal elements.
That is up my alley. That's good. Awesome. So go ahead and tell our viewers again where they can find you. And this is the second time I've had you on the show, and it's been awesome having you both times. But in case they missed the first interview with you, which you guys should go back and check it out. And don't forget to like this one and share it, and, you know, subscribe, because we have other great authors on the show. But Adam, tell them where they can find you and your work.
Sure. Find me at CassidyChronicles.com. That's the website. I actually have two guest authors on there who do fabulous things. Viella and Micah, they have Dragon Talk on Wednesdays. And yeah, they wrote this. Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful book. The price, I want to say The Price of Blood.
Ooh.
It's the title. Anyway, it's queer inclusive, vampires, dragons, werewolves, just amazing. And they're putting up like a piece of a chapter each week every Wednesday.
Ooh,
and I have another guest author, Taylor Vigil, who shows up on Saturdays, and she can put up, she's got a whole bunch of different projects going on. So she'll put up a piece of a chapter on Saturdays. So like I said, the blog, the website, CassidyChronicles.com.
Mhm.
All of my social media links are on there. So you can find me on Facebook and Twitter. That's where I'm most active. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. I think that's it, unless I signed up for something and forgotten about it. Oh, no, I haven't. And yeah, and I'm also all over the Go Indie Now channel.
Yes, we both are as of late. So, which are you on? You're on Sunday, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm on
Okay.
Sunday.
I've got a great topic for us on Sunday. So yeah, which I will be hosting Sunday, guys. So make sure you hop on and watch me and Adam chat about social media marketing. So
That'll be fun.
it will
And
be.
then if you go to Books to Read, you can find a author page for me, for Adam Gaffen, and it will have all my links. If you don't want to buy from Amazon, and I understand, sometimes people don't want to buy from Amazon. They are the 800-pound gorilla. So anywhere that my books have gone wide, that's where you can find it. Books to, the number 2, read.com. And you can get a universal link to your favorite bookstore. Into the Black, it never is wide. It never went into KU, so it's it's getting out there. And I plan to have Ghost of Tantor go wide right from the beginning. So
That's good. I like wide. So all right.
wide
Well,
is good.
thank you so much for hanging out with me on the show again.
It was a blast being back, and I'm sure we'll do this again.
Absolutely.